Look closely, this woman wants to pee standing up. But she couldn't hold it in for a while and caviar came out in large quantities. Faced with her friend's ruthless trampling. But she was so distraught that she fell to her knees and begged for mercy. Because it wasn't caviar at all, it was her baby. The next moment the woman woke up from the bathtub. She thought it was just a dream. But the moment she stumbled into the bedroom and lifted the covers, the bed was full of slimy insect eggs. The woman, who was in shock, looked at the room full of disgusting appearance. She had no idea what had happened. Just then her mother-in-law walked into the house. She found the house so dirty that she yelled at her. The woman suddenly lost control and rushed up and grabbed her mother-in-law's throat. Then she spat out a mouthful of mucus. A strong burn instantly melted the whole face. The poor mother-in-law died in this way. After reacting, the woman also cowered in the corner in fear. She couldn't believe what was happening before her eyes. Then the woman picked up another insect egg. She found a mosquito-like insect inside. It turned out that all the things she had laid were mosquito eggs. This also reminded her of a small incident that happened 7 days ago. A woman named Casey was swimming in the wilderness with her girlfriends that day. Suddenly felt a tingling pain in her lower body, as if something had stabbed her. She had thought it was just an illusion. Little did she know that she had been bitten by a mosquito. After she returned home, her body started to become a bit abnormal. The food that she normally loves to eat now made her vomit. She thought she was pregnant. When she went to the mirror to look at her stomach, she found a big pus on her leg. Looking at the disgusting appearance, Casey forced the abscess to burst through the severe pain. She tried to call her doctor for help, but the doctor told her to apply the disinfectant herself. As her body continued to change, Casey became depressed and had nightmares. Until the day she woke up to find the house full of disgusting insect egg, and suddenly lost control of herself amidst her mother-in-law's scolding. A mouthful of mucus killed her with her own hands. Fearing that the truth would be revealed, Casey hid her mother-in-law's body in the bathtub again. 3 days had passed since her mosquito bite. Casey also clearly felt the changes in her body. Her sense of hearing and smell had become very sensitive. She didn't want anyone to see her ugly face. Casey spent her days locked in a dark room with the slimy insect eggs. By this time, her body was also severely festering. She could easily pull off a piece of nail cap, put it in her mouth and chew it. Just then, there was an insect cry not far away. Casey was on the ground and came to the sound of a single cockroach. To her, it was the most delicious food today. With her mouth watering, she suddenly reached out and grabbed the cockroach. Then she enjoyed the cockroach to her heart's content. And then her best friend Kirsten noticed that Casey hadn't been seen for 3 days. So she came straight to the house and opened the door with the card in a familiar way. Kirsten was baffled when she came in. The room was dark and smelled bad. After finding Casey, Kirsten worriedly went up to her and asked what was going on. Casey just cried and said she was sick. Kirsten thought it was just a common illness and was taking her to the hospital. But when she saw the rotten face, she was instantly scared and crawled away. Then she hid in the bathroom and locked the door behind her. Realizing that something was wrong, Kirsten took out her cell phone and prepared to call the police. But just as she turned around, she was startled by a rotting corpse in the bathtub. The phone also happened to fall in. Hearing Casey's increasing rage outside, Kirsten had to reach down to get it. She endured the stench and fear. She managed to retrieve the phone. She didn't expect Casey to break into the house. She put one hand over her best friend's mouth to stop her screaming. But strangely enough, more and more blue goo flowed out. Casey let go and looked stunned. It was secreted from her palm. What's worse, this stuff is also highly toxic. Soon Kirsten collapsed unconscious on the ground. Casey was devastated when her best friend died in her hands. Casey's fiancé, Jared, drove downstairs that night. But what Casey didn't expect was, she accidentally overheard her best friend and Jared playing poker in the car. Unable to bear the betrayal of the two men, Casey decided to make them pay for it. Soon her best friend came to the door, and the door was unlocked. BFF easily entered the room. Looking at the dilapidated house and the stench that greeted her, she almost vomited. She looked around in fear and called out Casey's name. Unbeknownst to her, a horrible monster appeared behind her. Casey suddenly reached out and stuffed the poison into her mouth. Then he tied her to a chair. When the girlfriend woke up, Casey angrily questioned her why she was doing this to herself. Then she told her girlfriend to call her fiancé in. Jared entered the room and rushed to save his girlfriend. But Casey had already sneaked up behind him. When she asked Jared why he was cheating on her, but he had the audacity to say that it was male instinct. At this moment, the girlfriend next to me kept shouting. Angry Casey slashed her throat with a wave of his hand. Looking at Jared's painful face, Casey laughed with glee. The sad Jared got up and asked why he wanted to kill his girlfriend. And Casey's answer was instinct. Jared tried to escape, but Casey rushed up and strangled him. During the struggle, Jared was pierced through the waist by Casey's tentacles. Just as Casey came at him again, Jared suddenly grabbed a wooden stick and put it through her body. Then he got up and stomped on her skull. The painful Jared rushed to cover the injured waist, ready to escape for help. But in the end, he was exhausted and lay down in a corner. With his remaining consciousness, he dialed the police. The next day, the police arrived at the scene. When they arrived at the house, they found Jared's body covered with insect eggs. It turned out that during the previous fight, Casey used his tail thorn to release the eggs into his body, and hatched countless mosquitoes and flew out. No one cared. Suddenly a mosquito bites a woman who is running. She slapped the mosquito to death with great force. An unprecedented disaster will sweep through this place. This is the end of the movie. The name of the movie is Bite. If you watch this movie, can you still eat?